My, but look at the sunrise. Look at the sun and the water. It's shining. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is a beautiful morning. Good morning, everyone. Coffee time. Not a very good morning for me because I just spilled a bunch of coffee on my comforter. Figures. But it's still a beautiful morning because the sun is out, although the wind is still about 15 miles an hour, and it is quite chilly being that you're right here by the water and the humidity. It just goes through you like pins and needles. So, but the sun is out, and I think it's supposed to be a decent day tomorrow also. I'm hoping it warms up enough here today where I can wash my dishes because I haven't in 2 days because it's outside and I can't do it in here, which is another reason I'd like to have a larger van because then I could do it in here or in that van. But my thing right now is watching these birds. I'm watching the seagulls, and they're right at the edge of the water, and as the waves come in, they dive into the waves. I'm assuming they're either drinking water or trying to catch a fish. I don't know, but it's interesting watching them. Actually, it's very interesting watching nature, period. In the last couple of days, I have seen some different kind of birds, besides the cackles and the seagulls and the pelican. Yesterday, there was a fish that is dead right at the edge of right on the shoreline there. And this bird came up, and he had a beak almost like a parrot's beak. I looked at him and I thought, that's not a hawk. But it's a really strange looking bird. It had like little plumes up on the head and just different, very different. So, and then there's another one that's been coming around. So, really, there's so many different types of birds out here. In the marshes, I understand there's a lot of different types of birds. And one day I will go out there and I will look, take my binoculars, and enjoy the scenery. But here on the bay, sitting on the dock of the bay. Oh, well, I'm back to that song. Sorry. I get something stuck in my head and it won't leave. But I was talking yesterday regarding honey, and not honey, I was talking about homeopathic type first aid, and honey I forgot. And I was reminded by one of y'all, honey is so healing. I had experienced it with a gentleman. I was a CNA and I did private duty, and he had a very ugly bed sore on his hip. The nurses that would come in every other day, really all they did was take the gauze off and put it back on. They never put nothing on it. And I was reading about how healing honey is. So I asked Mr. McMichaels, that was his name, sweet man. He was paralyzed. He had, he had use of his arms, but he had the rest of his body he had no use of. But I asked him, could I experiment on him? Because that bed sore was getting larger. And he said, well, I said, look, let me explain to you. And I told him what I had read. So he decided he was going to let me experiment on him. Well, every day I would move the gauze over and I would put honey on there. Put it back on, because I knew the next day the nurses were going to come in. And they never even noticed. They never even noticed that I was applying something to him. But they did notice that he was getting better, that the sore was closing up. And they were patting themselves in the back. And I thought, why are you doing that, you know? But all right, if y'all want to make yourselves feel better, go right ahead. Well, Mr. McMichaels, he knew. And he let it go also. And he would say, you know, I wouldn't be doing this well if it wasn't for you. I said, well, you know, it's all of us working on you. He said, no, it's you. Because they're not doing nothing for me except looking, closing, covering. That's it. Taking off one gauze and putting on another. He said, that's been going on for a long time. Well, the aide that was there before me, she would turn him and all, but she didn't do nothing for him because actually we aren't supposed to apply anything on there. Where I was at, you weren't allowed to apply nothing at all, give no medication, nothing to a patient. So all she did was turn him, and she did. You know, he told me she was good about that. I ended up having to quit because I got pregnant with my fifth child. No. Yeah, fifth child. I can't keep up. I have 7 of them. But anyway, I went ahead and made sure he was taken care of. And then when I quit, I did tell the next aide what to do, and that it was not right and it was not legal for us to do it, but to talk to Mr. McMichaels, he will let her know how he feels and what he wants done, because he is the one that's paying. So I used to visit him every so often, and he admitted that the girl was doing the same thing so that I was. So that's good. You know, I look back a lot of times because I have a lot of time in my hand, you know, so I really look back at different things that I've done in my life. And I think all of us, or most of us, have done quite a few different things. I mean, I have owned businesses. I have been a waitress. I have been a CNA. I was a chemist assistant at Texas A&M. Oh my God, I've done so many different things. And plus being a mother and raising kids and being a wife and, you know, the whole 9 yards. And I never really thought about that towards the end of my life that this is what I was going to do full time. I did do it every opportunity I had, but full time, So it does give me time to think about the past, and I don't dwell on anything bad. I dwell on the good parts, because if I dwelled on the bad, I would be depressed all the time. The bad, that's gone. Why should I dwell on it? It's gone. So I'm only going to think about the good times that I had and the good parts of my life. And I think all of us should really think about that. Too many people think about their past and how horrible it was. And when you're doing that, you're not appreciating the present because you're dwelling too much in the past. You can't heal when all you want to put into you is things that are painful. You cannot heal. You have to let go of those things that was destructive in your life, destructive to you, and just consider your life as it is now and hopefully it is much better. And think of positive things. Make yourself happy. You've got to make yourself happy. I know it sounds weird, but I make myself happy. I don't allow things to come into my life that's going to hurt it. I don't. Well, guys, anyway, enough for now. Don't forget, love one another, love thyself. Hugs to every one of you, and peace, my friends, peace.